There is a femme queen in me, everybody. A feminine queen. Well, first and foremost, hello. You are now tuning into NevNotVada Radio, and I'm your host, NevNotVada Ray. So I signed up to be a part of this Pride project in which each of the participants would dress up as a specific color from the Pride flag. And I didn't get to choose my color. If I got to choose my color, I would have chose like green or orange or yellow. Those are colors that I like. Guess guess what color I got instead? Because I didn't get to choose. I got assigned the color pink, and was I overjoyed being assigned the color pink? I don't think I was. I was not overjoyed with being assigned the color pink because I don't really wear the color pink often. Majority of my wardrobe is probably black, and if it's not black, well then I don't know because I don't take inventory of what color I wear the most. But I do have colors that I like, those being warm tone colors, with the exception of red. I know, I'm horrible. I'm sorry. Because red is not my girl, and I lean more towards orange and yellow, that maybe that's why me and pink aren't like the best of friends, since I guess pink could technically be considered baby red. Because if baby blue is baby blue, then baby red would technically be pink. Think about it. Pastel yellow is pastel yellow. Pastel blue is pastel blue. Pastel red is pink. You see where I'm going? Exactly. I would wear a red dress. Yes, I would. But like me, and I guess red as like just a casual like color, it wouldn't be a color that I would choose to wear for the rest of my life. I know that much. So yeah, I don't really like her. I feel like I gotta change her now. That was so Nevada Ray. I feel like that was very picky of me, but I don't care because I do feel more satisfied with my eye look now. So what did I do when I was assigned the color pink and I found out? Well, it went a little bit like this. Dear Mr. LGBTQIA plus community. No, it didn't. That's not what happened. I actually just dealt with it. I was like, hey, why'd you assign me pink? And they explained why they assigned me pink. And was I mad at it? No. I kind of just took it as it was. If anything, I took it as a challenge because I'm such a like, I'm not like anti pink. Like, I'm not like a pink hater. Would I go out of my way to wear an all pink outfit? I don't think so. And that's perfectly fine. Unless I was going for a specific look, then yeah, I would. But on my day to day, I don't really go for pink looks. Therefore, for a photo shoot, I was like, okay, I see where you're going. I see the vision. I see the vibe. So I went with it. You silly girl, you. I hope I'm recording in the right format. I will cry if I'm not. I confirmed my look. I got the pink look. I wore the pink look. I loved it. I actually did love how I felt that day, especially because it was more of a hyper feminine look. I typically don't really wear a hyper feminine, get up in my everyday, which also made me think about my femininity and how I feel about my femininity. I don't really think I go out of my way to present hyper feminine to the world. Some people might say that, technically based on XYZ things, that I do present externally feminine, but also they're not in my internal landscape. I still like wearing makeup. I still do wear makeup. My makeup has become very soft, minimal, dare I say, clean girl. No, I don't like that aesthetic. I don't like the label or the way it's portrayed online. It overshadows the fact that a lot of Black and brown women, specifically Black and Latina women, have basically been the clean girl aesthetic before the clean girl aesthetic was called the clean girl aesthetic. You take the principles of what someone else has been doing, whether consciously or subconsciously, right? You're taking this nonetheless. You dress it up, you put a high end brand on it. Yes, I use the fucking Bubble Rumpkin Glow Primer and the fucking Snuffleupagus concealer and the butter me up brisket like setting spray and ooh, I'm so clean, girl. And those who see the problem, we see the problem because there's the problem. Clean girl aesthetic, right? It would make you think of an opposite dirty girl aesthetic. So if a clean girl aesthetic is natural looking makeup, what does that say about the dirty girl and why would she be considered dirty? What are you trying to say? If a 12 millimeter wispy lash is a clean girl, if mascara is clean girl, then what is that saying about a 25 millimeter lash? Is that dirty girl? What are you trying to say? Who was wearing 25 millimeter lashes before it became the whole Instagram baddie aesthetic? Don't answer all at once. Exactly. You see where my problem lies. I don't really wear makeup every day. I do like doing lash clusters, so I suppose that that would be a part of, I guess, cosmetic enhancements. And I mean, a lash is a lash, girl. A lash is a lash. Girl, please. Girl, boo. Makeup. But you know what I mean. Like, full definition, high glam, very 2016 makeup look, which was literally just the baby sister of drag. That was literally just like drag light. And I feel like it was very drag inspired. Anyways, so in an attempt to make this easier on myself, and because I am talking about, how I feel about my femininity, my relationship to femininity, it would be best for me to kind of pose it almost like question and answer style, right? I could have asked people to ask me questions about how I relate to my femininity or how I relate to femininity as a whole. And I should have done that. That would have been a very smart idea. But sadly, I didn't do that. So, yeah, as long as my bitches love me.
Yes, like hot. The pussy is hot. The pussy is hot.
So, I guess first and foremost, we should define femininity. And femininity, to me, would technically be the state of being feminine or in relation to the word or adjective feminine. Well, let's use Webster. Webster's the girl. Webster, growing up, we had to use the Webster dictionary in school, so that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, the definition for the word feminine is as follows. A, considered to be a characteristic of women, having qualities or features typically associated with women, of or relating to being a woman or a girl. So I suppose the adjective feminine would relate to women or girls. A feminine person would be an individual who, according to this definition, behaves in a manner or expresses themselves in a manner very similar to women or girls in the way that people in society would typically perceive women or girls to act. I know, it's confusing. It shouldn't have to be this confusing, but it's also not that confusing. If you've grown up in a Western society, it's not that hard, I guess, or whatever the fuck. But what does femininity mean to me? As I was growing up, I was just more geared towards feminine things. I liked dolls and I played with dolls. And a lot of older men in my life told me that I should not play with dolls. But I played with dolls because it was my prerogative. Mind you, this is my playtime. You trying to dictate what I can and can't do in my playtime? Don't do that. Don't do that. Playtime is where your imagination and your creativity is supposed to run wild. I played with dolls because I saw myself in those dolls. Spiritually, what does it mean to be feminine? I feel like I should have like a really sophisticated and an intellectual answer about what it means to be feminine spiritually to me. I don't know. Nor do I really feel pressed for an answer. Shit. Spiritually and personally, femininity to me would be soft, non abrasive, gentle, caring. Oh, see, but that's in relation to like how other people perceive you and like how you would interact with other people. So, what does it mean internally? I would say being able to be vulnerable with oneself. People would typically mark that as a feminine quality. When honestly, I think all humans need to be vulnerable with themselves, whether they align more with masculinity or femininity. I feel that you should be able to feel safe being vulnerable with yourself. And just because something has been deemed a feminine trait does not mean it is bad or it is something that a masculine entity should shy away from because you decide who you are at the end of the day. When we think of feminine socially, we might think of mother or sister or grandmother or big sister, honestly. You would think of mothers as nurturing caregivers who are very fiercely protective of their children, but also very gentle with their children. When we think of the big sister, we think of the responsibility of being a big sister, being the nurturer, just like a mother would, which makes me think of like a parentified child. We're not going to go into that either. When you think of a younger sister, you would think of someone who is more vulnerable in society, or somebody who we would perceive as being more vulnerable in society that we would feel more inclined to protect. When we think of daughters, we think of these soft little creatures, right? Like a fawn, a little baby deer. Like, oh my God, I must protect my little baby fawn, my little baby sister, my little baby daughter, my little baby cousin, whatever, from this world. That also makes me think of the fact that babies are treated in a very fawn like fashion of like, look at this little baby deer, I must guard this with my life up until whatever point society deems, I'm gonna just say it like this. I'm gonna just cut it very straight to the camera, right? I feel like little baby boys are treated as gentle as little baby girls are up until a point in which parents or whatever decides they don't need our protection anymore. They don't need our protection anymore. That little baby boy don't need our protection anymore, child. This is not a little baby fawn anymore that I need to protect from the dangers and the evils of the world. I'm not going to kiss his playground scrapes anymore when he falls down and scrapes his knee. At what point does society start doing that? Because I feel like babies are treated in a very soft and feminine manner as far as baby boys and baby girls go. After a certain point, it's like the baby girls continue to get that, right? They continue to get the softness, the nurturing, the overprotectiveness, the hovering inness. Interesting. Girl. The next question is, how did I first become aware of what femininity looked like when I was a child? And how did I find myself relating to it or not relating to it? This is juicy, but it's not, actually. It's not really that juicy of a topic or take. So, growing up, most of my cousins who were close to me in age, on my mother's side, they were all girls. And I mean, I have an older brother. He's 6 years older than me, and he's always been around me like my entire life. So you would think that I would look up to my older brother, right? My older brother was an asshole. My older brother was mean. I did not look up to my older brother. I mean, who would look up to an asshole? Not me. I feel like I became aware of what femininity looked like through my cousins who were close to me in age. Um, the way that their parents interacted with them, things that they were allowed to do and also expected to do because they were little girls. So I was able to see what femininity looked like growing up in an age appropriate way because the cousins that were closest in age to me were girls. So as I was growing up, they were growing up, and also I got to see the way that they interacted with the world and the world interacted with them, and how they interacted within the family and how the family interacted with them as they grew up as girls. From like toy phones to makeup to princess dresses and princess movies and tea parties and slumber parties and makeovers and fashion modeling imitations. We used to work that runway, girl. We used to work that runway. I felt myself witnessing that and also relating to it. And I'm sitting in the corner and people are predestining me to monster trucks and GI Joe action figures and basketball and football and what are little boys expected to do during playtime? Lawyer school and field hockey. I don't fucking know. I don't know, honestly. I feel like girls were like expected to be creative. They were expected to play with dolls because it fostered creativity. And I guess GI Joes and action figures and toy soldiers are literally just the boy versions of dolls, whether society likes it or not. I related more to the way that my cousins were able to play with dolls and makeovers and tea parties, and it was a lot more creative and imaginative. But I was not granted access to that, at least not in front of the adults. I did not get to play dress up, but I got to still have tea parties and play with dolls and use my imagination there. And sadly, that was behind closed doors with my cousins that were similar in age to me. And it was almost like sacred to me. If you tell a little boy that he's not supposed to play with dolls and he doesn't just say, okay, and never picks up a doll again, like, and he's like committed to playing with dolls, right? That little boy's feminine. That little boy's feminine. I think the extent to which I would go in order to play with dolls, I mean, even to the point where one time I was staying at my paternal grandparents' house in Delaware, and I also had a cousin close in age, and she had Monster High dolls out the wazoo, and I loved Monster High dolls. They were fab and fierce and bizarre, and I remember I basically had like slept in her room, and she had like slept in grandma's room. And so I was in the room by myself, and I literally played with the dolls all night, and I savored that whole night of playing dolls. I don't even know the storylines I created. I can't tell you. It was just the rush of being able to play with dolls in a closed setting where no one would bother me or spectate or say that I shouldn't. And that was like heaven to me. I was probably 8 at the time, and I know that I cherished that night like the world was going to end when I woke up the next morning. I would not have that sacred little time to play with dolls anymore. But I feel like the ways in which I did not relate to femininity was more so in the way that the world interacted with me. I interacted with the world and social settings within a very feminine framework because that was the framework that I had internalized and assigned to myself. But the world and society was assigning a masculine framework and set of expectations to me. So that's how the world interacted with me. I feel like I didn't relate to femininity because the world did not treat me as a feminine entity. Like they did in a weird way, right? Like, especially in school, I feel like, the girls interacted with me as if they saw my femininity because it was very undeniable. I had a very soft voice and I had very feminine interests and very feminine mannerisms. And the boys, they interacted with me through a feminine lens. It was more of a, you're not supposed to be like this, but we know that you're like this and we can clock it. And we've clocked it. We've clocked your T. So they saw me as feminine, as in like feminine bad, because like I wasn't supposed to be feminine, I guess. So many layers to this. Here's a good question. How have I learned to define femininity in my own terms despite societal expectations? I feel like this brings up like the conversation of passing and passability and also like external hyper femininity. Over the past 4 years that I have been exploring myself and also how I will relate to the world and how the world in turn relates to me because every action has a reaction. I've put less pressure and expectation on myself to present hyper feminine. And to me, that means being okay with going outside in a bonnet. That means being okay with going outside barefaced, not dressed to the nines, in sweatpants, in a sweatshirt or a hoodie. I'm a jean girl. I don't really wear skirts that often. For the project, my outfit, I had two potential skirts to wear. And I loved wearing a skirt that day. I'm not going to lie. But would I continue wearing skirts as part of my everyday like geesh? No. In a perfect world in which I could wear a skirt and not attract attention, whether that's positive or negative, I would. If I could wear a skirt and not garner any sort of attention and get catcalled or approached, I would wear a skirt. And I think the same goes for dresses. And I feel like every chance that I got early on in my transition to basically wear a dress and be safely transported somewhere, I would take it. If I knew that I was going to be safe where I was going, like I took that opportunity to wear a dress because I couldn't. And now I don't always feel like I have to seize the moment to wear a dress. Do I like dresses? Yes, I think dresses are pretty. I love a dress. I do like jeans a lot more, and I used to wear skinny jeans a lot, but I like a fit and flare. A fit and flare is fab to me now. I like to define femininity for myself now, despite societal expectations, by emphasizing to myself that femininity isn't about looking pretty. Femininity is not about dressing for others and what they expect of you or what would make you the most palatable version of yourself to these people. Because I'm not being served to you on a dinner plate. I'm going to come as I want to show up that day, however that may be. And I've come to understand that my femininity is not just about the way that other people perceive me, but also how I'm perceiving myself in my bedroom. And also getting rid of this whole mindset of like, I can't do this because I'll be clocky. I can't do that because it's going to get me clocked. In certain situations in which it is literally like life or death to, I guess, pass in the moment or to not do anything that would rock the boat. I understand that that's serving a purpose in that moment. But for me personally, if I'm chilling with my girls, I'm not going to sit here and police myself on my mannerisms or my behavior or the way that I'm sitting or the way that I'm talking or the tone of voice I'm using. If I can't key with you in my most comfortable self, you are now the equivalent to a stranger on the street who I now have to perform for the sake of safety. If you're not safe with somebody, they're not your homegirl or your homeboy. Because a lot of people will befriend people who they do not feel safe around. If you can't let yourself get comfortable slipping around your homegirls, those not your homegirls. They are ops dressed up as homegirls, homeboys, because that's the label that you keep assigning these people when they're low key ops. I am glad that I just came across this question. How do I protect and nurture my femininity while living in a world that often tries to shape, dictate, or erase it? Girl. I feel like this ties into also like being online and also being in person, right? I will preface by saying this. Early on in my transition, I felt like a cyber social justice warrior. I was arguing down in comments. I'm a woman this, trans women are women that. I was very like I was very passionate about defending myself. I was on the defense. Um, I had to realize that I don't have to go to war with strangers on the internet because what am I looking for at the end of the day? Am I looking for random conservative stranger 555 at gmail.com online to be like, you know what? Never mind. You are a woman. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you so much for correcting me. You are a woman. I'm sorry, okay? You were right. You are a woman. Is that what I wanted? Because I didn't need that at the end of the day. I feel like the more secure in your perception of yourself that you are, the less you will even feel moved by strangers on the internet or even strangers in real life having something to say about it, putting their 2 cents in. Because my aunt told me when I was younger that opinions are like assholes. So everyone has an opinion. Protecting and nurturing my femininity in a world that often tries to reshape it or cancel it out or erase it or take it away from me, even looks like not opening the comment section if I know that it's going to be hot in the comment section. If I know that I'm in MAGA territory, I'm not opening the comment sections if I know what I'm expecting. That's like stepping in a room full of people you know hates you and has only negative things to say about you and negative beliefs to spread about you and to share to the world about you. Why would I expose myself to these people? And why would I expose myself to these people by leaving a comment in my own defense and being like, oh my God, well, no, actually, you're wrong and you shouldn't say that and blah, blah, blah. I can't control what you say. I really don't have to interact with it. Does that mean you should say it? No. Does that mean that it makes it any less hurtful? No. Does that mean that it makes it any less insulting or harsh or rude? No, it doesn't. Discernment on social media is a real thing. You need to have it. On social media, you just have to be wise of like, is engaging in these conversations going to harm me or help me? If it is a comment section that is more educational and uplifting and informative, that's going to help you. If it is a comment section where they're at each other's throats, girl, and the girls are fighting at the DD's discounts in the comments, people are going up in your comments, they're getting a lot of negative attention online, girl, go private. Go private. Either go private or ignore it. Pay it no mind. Pay it no mind. I used to jump to make a whole video in response to transphobic comments that I would receive on my TikToks maybe like 3 years ago, girl. I used to jump to defend myself, to call the person out, to insult them, play the tit for tat game. Mind you, this is my platform. What am I doing sitting here arguing with you on my platform? I'm not going to do that. Go be great on your platform. This is all me right here, okay? And you stepping in my face, cyber-wise, digitally, get the fuck out my face. Bye, blocked, delete the comment. It's that simple. I don't need to prove myself. And I've even had to learn that when it comes to in real life interactions. There are people who are close to me who do not have the best opinions about me and feel the need to share these not so best opinions about me. I don't have to engage with this. Hey, this person just said something really mean. Now I could either bring up something equally as mean or offensive to say back to them to hurt their feelings, or I can just say to myself in my head, not even out loud, this person has serious psychological issues that they really need to sort out. And it is not my job to call that out. This person is an adult. This person is a fully grown human being who should be able to understand that not everything needs to be said. I will walk out the room so fast because over the past 5 years, I have gotten into so many pointless arguments in real life and online with people who I either don't know or people who I do know and who would expect better from, considering that they are so close to me. Protecting and nurturing my femininity literally looks like not engaging. If I sit here and I feel moved by the things that you're saying, I gotta go. You know how fast I'll hit a like, girl, bye, beam me up, Scotty. The fuck. Here's what I will close out with. Right? So, I've said a lot. Hey, I spoke my piece, and it didn't leave me in pieces. So here's some footage, some like little, I guess, vlog stuff that I recorded the day of the photo shoot as we were like going around and stuff. If you just care, or if you just want to see. Roll the fucking footage. We're literally serving you Princess Peach and Daisy.
And a little bit of, strawberry banana.
I had an Ashley piercing. I couldn't eat, so I took it out within a day. Also, my lip was swelling and the bar wasn't long enough.
It's not safe, right?
It's also not safe to pierce your own face. None of my piercings were paid for. I mean, I paid $2 for the piercing kit, but hey.
Okay, my life is Ava.
Day in my life. A day in your life.
A day in your life. A day in your life, my act.
Imagine if somebody was like, oh my god, can you make a day in your life video? And I'm like, what if I made a day in your life? And I just followed you around. How would you like it if I followed you around with cameras and microphones?
That's basically paparazzi.
Girl, that's Jerry Springer. I'm near my old high school, my old stomping grounds. I used to come. Huh? I used to walk down this street.
You used to what?
Don't make it weird. Don't make it weird. I was a minor, right? I was going to say I used to come down here, guys.
Huh? Nothing? I didn't say shit.
Crickets.
Oh my god, wait.
I'm giving you Teresa Russo. Hold on.
Look at anybody, we knock anybody down. This up with anybody, we ain't started nothing down.
I'm giving Teresa Russo with this bang, honey.
No, you're really giving more like Beyonce self-title. I'm giving more Lemonade.
What's the song from self-titled?
Haunted.
I was gonna say Pretty Hurts, but
Go. I don't like Pretty Hurts is cute, but it reminds me of the 6th grade and crying to that song.
how about Blow?
I don't do that.
Are you abstinent?
Are you celibate?
Whoa.
They kind of insane.
What's the other song from self-titled? Oh wait. Oh, the Beyonce,
Okay, no,
like
it's
the
still,
one.
No, because it's still that girl.
And I've been drifting off on knowledge. Catwalks and catwalks, man. These girls are getting the beaches in the
Speaking
forest.
more than me.
The shit I do is boring. Oh, shit I hear is boring. I'm telling you, the songs I know by heart. I don't listen to new music because it's too much for my brain. I'm trying to keep all the songs that I already love still in storage. I'm not about to delete a song from my mind cloud. Girl, it got too hot. I had to take. Wait, please tell me I didn't. Okay, I didn't get this one. But I had to take my little thing off, my little cardigan off, because it was way too fucking hot. Like, it was mad hot.
I'm still mad hot though.
You are still mad hot, honey. Is that dress breathable? Is it fun, honey?
Yes, it's very much fun.
It's giving Mission Untuckable, the spy who clocked me.
The mission to find the.
You can't fucking sit with us!
Quick.
Now I was over here.
I'm Detective Fierce, and I'm here with Inspector Gaggett.
She's a cunt.
My bitch pose is nasty. Don't ever play with the cat. That
Hi, Esther. I challenge you to an HRT battle. May the Estro gods be in your favor. I must eradicate you before you overthrow my power as Supreme Femme.
Nevada, you must stop this madness. This isn't you.
I'll show you how powerful I am.
Nevada wins. Flawless victory.